we were a couple episodes ago. We were talking about parenting. Remember, we were talking about like how like soft parenting or tough parenting or whatever. And I was
soft
and I was like, oh, we can like it all depends on context, right? And I only say that because again, I'm fucking brown, and I remember Pops telling me whenever I was already older, like I had to condition you for the environment that you were living in.
Yes, of course.
There was no way that I could have ever been soft with you, because if I was going to be soft with you,
you would not survive.
Then you were then the environment around you was going to eat you alive.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So like it had nothing to do with whether I felt bad about doing like teaching you certain things or making you learn certain lessons in my control or whatever. It had everything to do with if I don't teach him how to be this way, X, Y, and Z, then whenever this situation inevitably comes to his doorstep, he's not going to be able to handle it.
And he knew that
You know
they were
what I
going
mean?
to come to your doorstep.
And it did. And it fucking did.
And this is,
every
again,
single one of the
goes
things that he
back
said was
to,
going to happen
like,
happened.
Me breaking, having these world-shattering moments.
Yeah. And it was, and like to me, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. To me, I'm like looking back on it retrospectively, I'm like, what a fucking great parent.
Yeah.
But if you look at it in the moment, certain things, I'm like, yo, that might be suspect.
Or if you look at it like
that might
sociologically,
right?
or
That might be
something.
suspect.
Yeah.
You might be like.
Society might be like, what
your
the fuck?
kid in the long run, and I'm like, no. Like
This is
now,
just what he
now I'm
had
like,
to
no.
do.
Let me get to the long run.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we're already winning.
You
if we
have
get to
no
the long run.
idea, babe.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So in that sense,
that
I'm like,
shit's
this is why
fucking
parenting is so difficult.
so
and
nuanced.
I've had like super hard, like big heart to hearts with Pops, because it was like, no, like you probably had to pull at your heartstrings a lot.
Yeah.
Doing whatever you had to do.
Yep.
Despite the fact that you're like, no, he has to learn this.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's crazy you say it that way, because that's exactly how it like registers in my mind as when we were talking about like the soft and like hard parenting, because I think it's gonna sound even worse when I say it like this, but like my kid having autism, my kid having ADHD, like severe ADHD, where like she has a really hard time paying attention, and I don't want to necessarily have her grow up on meds to where she has no other choice but to pay attention. It's leading me down the road where it's like when she's doing something she's not supposed to, and she does it like the fifth time come around, and I really have to teach her, you cannot run into the street type of thing.
Yeah.
Because she will bolt the fuck out, and I'm like, you cannot do that. The only saddening way that I can get her to understand that is by whooping her ass. And it sounds like really shitty, and it is really shitty because it hurts my heart to know that I have to hit a 4-year-old and be like, you cannot, and I have to scream at her, essentially traumatize her, because I have to be like, you cannot do that.
This is the only way that you
and
can
it's
learn.
like, because that's literally the only way it registers in her
That's
heart.
how it's going to register.
Yes, and it's so saddening because like I was actually talking to Mom about this, and she was like, there was things that I had to do with each of you specifically because there was no other way to get you guys to understand. And she's like, your brother, like you, because he had
I was the worst, man.
hyper tendencies. We were never cabezones, like, and we were never like chiflados, but we were very like
Look that you use cabezones as like an actual adjective.
Yeah.
We use but we use it as like
being
hard-headed.
like hard-headed, like you're being very like
like a cabezón for us is like
stubborn.
You're just hard-headed and stubborn.
We just use it as like a picking, like an
use it as actual big head.
like my mom would be like, mira cabezón,
or
whatever.
Like we use like no seas cabezón.
Or maybe like necio,
like no seas cabezón. No, but it's not necio even. It's like no seas cabezón. Like don't be like nothing like penetrates your skull.
Yes,
like everything
like
that we're saying, it doesn't register.
It doesn't register. So like he wasn't necessarily like that. So he did listen to my mom. But the only reason why he listened to my mom once he got a little bit older was because my mom used to hit the fuck out of him because he didn't listen at first. And my mom was like, it sucked, but literally that is how I had to raise your brother, because unless I did that, there was no way he was ever going to register that I had the authority to tell him he couldn't do something. And that helped him out in the future when he knew, when I knew something that he wasn't supposed to do, that I could see him itching to do, and I had to stop him.
I also cost him a lot of money. I was born with like the world's like all the confidence that you could ever possibly have.
That's why.
So like for me, like everything was a possibility. Nothing could stand in my way.
That's crazy.
Like everything was like, oh, I could do that. There's no way I can't do that. Oh, I could and it was like the most ridiculous shit. Oh, I can climb that. Like it was ridiculous. Like I'm sitting there looking at a roller coaster underneath at Fiesta, Texas. Like, you know what I mean? Like climb the fence, and I'm just looking at the roller coaster up, and we got kicked out of the fucking park. Like nothing was an obstacle.
It baffles
you know
me
what I mean?
when I realize that some people do not grow up with like crippling like low self-esteem or like crippling anxiety.
I had the highest self-esteem. My self-esteem.
He was born with every ounce of self-esteem that I lacked. Okay,
yeah,
so
I was
like,
born with all the self-esteem you could possibly imagine.
Olivia, you wouldn't have to put this in. But Olivia, she is just recently went through like this period where she's like, dude, like I don't like myself, man. Like I don't like myself in this moment or whatever. And she was like, and I've never felt like that. And Brenda and I were like, huh?
¿Cómo?
We were like, ever?
Repite.
again,
Like never?
We don't have to put this in. But
I was like,
but my
Olivia, I
friends,
have only started to like myself
Like last week.
like maybe this
Like,
year.
we
I
don't
took
have-
a shit the other
and
day,
like-
and I was like, man, I really
And
like
like
myself
it's
right
not
now.
even like I think I'm the shit. It's like, all right, you can stay.
yeah,
You know?
Like,
It's
you're
like
alright.
we'll keep you around.
I
I
You've been
have
through some
my
shit.
friends.
I have some redeemable like I've only learned to not
have
want to kill myself like as an adult.
absolutely,
You
absolutely.
know? Like that but like
20 years
it's
ago.
true like like
Facts.
there's people that grew up and they grew up just like feeling good about themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Oh,
is so
believe me,
fucking
I
crazy.
grew up feeling like I could do everything in
And
the world,
that is
and it wasn't
wild to me.
And it went backwards for me as especially my teenage years, as I realized the world I was living in and the circumstance of everything about me. I was like,
I really can't do that.
shit. And I started. Then it started to be like really crippling because it felt like I had chains. I felt like I was like had shackles on my feet everywhere I went.
That's crazy.
So, but and then I had to like again like I had to like figure out a way to overcome that. So it was like a lot of like identity fighting circumstance. But
That's crazy.
But it's to that point it was like I was born with all of it. So like
That's
mom, there was
wild.
nothing moms could say, and I had like no I still don't have any like real concept of the
Grasp.
gravity of authority.
Yes,
Like I know that authority exists, so I know that people have authority over me in like jobs or something like that, but like they actually don't have any like hold
you don't
on
believe
me.
it.
I don't believe it. Yeah, like I would look
That's
at you and I'm like, I have to
wild.
tell you yes because I understand. I've learned how to like not get into an argument with you over time, teachers and like things like that. How to like not put my foot
You
in my
have
mouth.
just learned how to navigate.
I've learned how to navigate through like
That
not
is
giving
wild
you
because nothing could get me shaking like authority. When I was young, I was like, I would trust any adult before I trust my own thoughts.
I'm the opposite. I'm like, you don't know what you're doing.
That's
Like
wild.
like at school, everywhere. I was.
That is truly insane.
I would just like look at people
if
and be like,
my
"What?"
teacher would have been like, "You're a piece of shit," I would have been like, "Damn, I'm a piece of shit."
But like moms,
that's so
moms and
crazy.
dads hated that. Like,
Yeah,
but,
no,
like
yeah.
I remember mom, like
Yeah, bruh.
like they
I
would
can
hate
imagine.
it. They would hate
Well-
it so much because they would try to discipline me, and I would just look at them stoically and be like, "Are you done?" Like,
Yeah.
because of this isn't whatever you think this is happening right now. It's
Every
not.
time I hear
It's not
about
happening.
people like you, I'm like, I wonder how my mom would have done with you.